Stampers, and welcome to Laura's Stamp Pad. A couple weeks ago I showed the unboxing and reveal of this fabulous Sweet Stack kit that Stampin' Up! Has in the 2015-2016 catalog. It is so adorable with this cake stand and then all the individual cake slices that are little treat boxes, and then of course the little banner that hangs across the top. So it was upon request that I actually do a video showing the assembly of this. So I was happy to oblige to that. And I hope you enjoy this video tutorial showing the assembly of the Sweet Stack project kit. So all the instructions are in that little flyer, but you'll start out and you have this nice little like mini cake or mini hat box almost. And so that goes together just like that. Then these two pieces are your stand, and so you will just slide those together, and then now you have your nice little stand. Of course, you can always add a little dab of hot glue right there when you go to use it so that your cake stand or your cake stays on your stand. So there, I'll tilt it to the side so you can see it a little bit. So there, and you know, otherwise it just kind of knocks around and it can sit there. But if you wanted to, you could always add, you know, some hot glue along the top there when you get ready to use it. Until then, it's fabulous that everything goes on the inside and you can always take it apart and then stick it inside. The other thing is there's two holes here at the top, and that's where these little white dowel rods go into. And again, you can add a little bit of hot glue to the inside of those to make sure that they stand up pretty nice. They just wiggle a little bit if you kind of wiggle them. If you push in, they don't really go in because they hit the edges. But if you go this way, then they kind of fall in. So then you have that there. I did want to show you that there is a nice little banner that goes along the bottom of the cake. So we're going to go ahead and stick that on. It is already adhesive, so that is awesome. You don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to pop the lid off, and we're going to start with this inside piece because there was tape holding it together on the outside, so we might have to cover that up or overlap it, or it might be able to be extra that we cut off. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull the tape off of the back of this. And I'm probably going to do it like as I go along. So I'm just going to pull off a little bit. And then taking this, I'm just going to run it to where that scallop is hanging off of the bottom there. So the scallop is the only thing that's hanging off. And just keep working it around. And pulling off the adhesive as we go. Making sure to press nice and strong there against the adhesive. And there it looks like we have a little bit left over, so I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that off. And of course you can always put that seam there on the back side too. So you can see it's got all the little scallops there. And those kind of peek out. So you almost want to store this now upside down so that all those little scallops aren't being smashed. But then you have those cute little that cute little box there with that trim, which is super cute. And then there's our little stand. Oh, I love how it's coming together. Now we're going to work on that banner. So the kit actually comes with some baker's twine, Whisper White baker's twine. And it also comes, let me turn this around to show you guys. So it actually also comes with all these little banners. It comes in Island Indigo, Watermelon Wonder, and Crushed Curry. And then it comes with a sheet of Whisper White letters. And these are all stickers. I know you can't see those very well, but they're all the alphabet. The sample shows thanks. I was going to do congrats because I thought that would go with anything. I was actually going to do celebrate, but there wasn't 3 E's, so I went with congrats instead. So I just stuck all of the letters onto the little half, and then these are actually already pre-scored, so I just scored them on that line, folded right on that line, used my bone folder to get a nice strong crease. And then I used a Stampin' Dimensional. So I put a little Stampin' Dimensional in there, and I put it down low so that I could actually put the twine up high and then squeeze it, and now it can slide along. I could even take them all off and then use another greeting on another project, either by using the leftover banners, or I could make some of my own banners. But now I can slide those along and place them, you know, close or far apart or however you wish. Each of those now just slides right along, and then I have all these extras that I can use to say something else with these letters, or I could use those as decorative pieces going along the edges here. So that's what my little banner looks like, and I'll just attach that to the little dowel rods and then stick it into the cake. Next up, we'll start working on the actual cake pieces. Okay, so now we're going to make the cake pieces. So we're actually going to start out, there's the big ones and the small ones. These are the small ones. So these are what come in the kit. They're already pre-cut and pre-scored for you. And then of course there's the adhesive along the side and along the bottom. Now I did want to show you the instructions because I changed it up just a little bit. So the instructions actually show to do this, which is the top of the cake, on the end triangle. Well, I preferred to do mine in the middle so that this was actually my bottom and that the crease that goes here to here is actually on the bottom and not on the top, just in case I maybe made a mistake and didn't line it up so perfectly. So I will just say that I decided to do this greeting here on the middle triangle and not on the side triangle. So I will show you that here. So here we have all of our items, and I'm just going to take my chocolate chip, and I'm using the Sweet Stack stamp set here. So that has the hearts down here, and that is what is the cake. And then of course we're going to use this for some of the icing, the dots for the icing, and then I chose to do all of mine that say a treat for you for all you do. But you could always do any of these other greetings as well, or you could leave it blank. So here I'm just going to take my chocolate chip ink and the stamp pad, and I'm going to do the hearts. Oh, I didn't get it all the way inked. I did find that using the paper piercing tool did help to get a nice strong image. So I will use that again to do this one. And then of course we're going to flip it over because those hearts go down, these hearts need to go down as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the hearts. And you just want to make sure that whichever triangle you decide to use, that your hearts are going down. And of course you could always fold it to make sure, like, oh, okay, well if I use this one, then, like if I used this one, then those hearts would be upside down. But I decided to use that triangle, so now my hearts are right side up and right side up. So now we're just going to then take our Watermelon Wonder, and I have the greeting here to stamp on the center of the triangle. And then we're going to add some crushed curry, some little sprinkles just along the top here. And then we're also going to use those same sprinkles to do the icing as well. So here's the icing, and again there's a small scallop and a large scallop in the kit. You want to make sure that you're using the small scallop for this one. And I'm just using the little squiggle lines that come in that kit, or that come in the stamp set. And I'm doing crushed curry and just stamping it along. I love that it's photopolymer because you can see exactly where you're stamping, and that's probably enough. So now it's time to assemble. We're just going to score on all those lines and use a bone folder for a nice strong crease. And then for all these end ones, I didn't really use the bone folder, but it probably would help. And I decided that it was best to do this end one. So I took the adhesive off of that little end piece and then smushed the tip of my cake together. So now you have the tip of your cake there. And then now I'm just going to peel the adhesive off of that side piece and lay this down. And just kind of stick your finger inside there to make sure that it's sealed. And then now your end pieces are going to go in first, and then these two pieces come down and they actually interlock to seal it. So then you have your nice little treat box there. Now this piece is your icing. I used Fast Fuse to adhere that on. Don't forget that little flick of the wrist there at the end. And you're just going to adhere this to the very top there. And the reason why I didn't put adhesive over the whole thing is because I'm assembling mine now, but I'll be using mine later for, I'm not really sure what event. But you can see that inside there, you can actually still open this treat box to use and stick your treats in. Well, I'm being super gentle because I don't want to break it on camera, but there we go. So, and then just slide that back in underneath there whenever you do actually put your treats in. Perfect. So now I have all of the top layer of my cake complete. So you can see here I have all of my little pieces all nice and complete there. So now it's time to do the big slices of cake. Okay, so now this is the big piece of cake. So I have the base that is included in the kit. As you can see, it's already pre-scored, pre-cut, and it does have the adhesive on there as well. And then here is the little icing piece, just like there was in the small one. But of course, this is the larger scallop for that end. So again, I'm going to do this triangle in the middle as my main triangle. So I'm just going to stamp a little bit of the crushed curry dots there on the top as some of the icing, which is going to trickle over. And then I'm also going to completely cover all of this little icing piece. There we go. And I tell you, that was probably the hardest thing out of this entire kit, was stamping those dots what felt like 552 times. So now again, I'm going to do those chocolate stripes on our cake. Just make sure that your hearts are right side up. Oh, and there was the first one I did without the little foam mat. But that's fine. And I just want to let you know that a lot of mine didn't come out perfectly clear. Some of them had like darker spots, lighter spots. Of course, part of that has to do with the ink pad maybe needing to be re-inked, or just, you know, different spots on the ink pad that I hit harder or something like that. But I actually like that because obviously the cake is textured and varies and everything, and so I'm okay with that. If you're not, just be sure to have nice firm pressure and a nice juicy ink pad as well. So there is our cake, and now I'm just going to score on all those score lines, again running the bone folder over each one, getting that nice strong crease, and then that little flap there on the end with the adhesive. And again, I'm going to peel off this bottom tab first and stick these two together just like that. So that was the tip of the cake that I did first. And then now I'm going to peel off this long one here and line this up right there. And again, just kind of using your finger on the inside to press on that, or you could always take a bone folder and run it on the inside there for that nice strong seal. And then the ends go in, and then these two flaps come in and interlock just like that. Again, with this one, I used some of my Fast Fuse just there along the top my flick of the wrist didn't work because it hit the tablecloth. So it got a little sticky glob there, but that's okay. And then this is going to match up, so you can see that's where I stamped the yellow, which you can't really see the yellow very well, but that's where I stamped those yellow dots. And then of course you have your little scallops there. So super cute, super fabulous. And that is one of the big pieces. So I'm just going to bring in, that one goes right there, which fits the cake just so perfectly. Of course I still have the other little one here up top that I need to add in, but now all of our bottom pieces are done, and now it's time to work on all of the little accents and bows. Okay, so now we're going to create the candles that go on the top of the cake. So there's all of these fabulous little glitter pieces that are the candles, and if you notice, when you put them back to back, then they actually overlap and they look exactly the same. So be sure to pick out the right ones, because some of them go the other way. So then whenever you turn them over and put them back to back, they end up like this, where one flame goes one way and one goes the other way. So be sure there is enough that go all the correct way. So be sure to just match them up so that whenever you put them glitter to glitter, that they actually overlap and they look identical back to back. So I just used a little bit of my fast fuse because I already had it out, and I know it does kind of make a little bit of a sticky mess. So if you prefer like the multi-purpose glue, but I find that just to be, I use too much and then it becomes a gluey mess. But actually the two-way glue pen would work really awesome with this as well, probably. So I just added a little bit there, and then any little glue globbies that were on the edge I just snuck behind and just kind of tucked away. And then overlapped the two of these. You don't need to do the whole stem of the whole candle piece. You really just need to do those tips, and you definitely don't want to do down here. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to slide your candle up into this little blue striped barrel, and so then it pops out the top. And then these two actually fold back, and that's what your little base is. So I actually thought that it needed to be a little bit more stable. So I just took my 3/4 inch circle punch and just did a little scrap piece of Whisper White. I'm gonna add some fast fuse to that, flick. And then now I'm just going to place it on top of there, pushing them together and pushing it down. And then I found it was nice and stable that way, and it had something to stick to, and it stands up very nice. So here I have all of my candles, and then this one just goes right there. Isn't that amazing? I love it. This cake is coming together so, so beautifully. Okay, so now we have these little bows. So they come popped out already, so they're already pre-done. So here's all of your little ends. So those are your little ribbons that hang down. And then these are your bows. So you're just gonna pop out those two little square, well actually they're more rectangle, but the little rectangle pieces. So you're gonna pop out those two center rectangle pieces. And then there is a score line here, but I went ahead and just kind of ran my bone folder over it. Just like that, like your curling ribbon. And then I still kind of pressed on that crease a little bit. And then you're just going to loop those tips through. So you can see the tips kind of come up right here. I don't know how well you can see that. See, they just kind of pop up. And so then here's the front of your bow. So the ends pop up in the back, and then that's the front of your bow is the other side. And then of course you can add your little ribbons here, and you can just add adhesive to those to the back of it, or you don't have to use them at all and you can lay them out however you wish. So again, just pop those little tips out there. Oh, that one went flying. Run your bone folder over it and then slide them through that little spot there. And you can use Fast Fuse or snail adhesive. You can even use Stampin' Dimensionals, which are my favorite, to add these to your project. The kit shows that these go to the big slices of cake, whereas the candles are on the little slices of cake. So you can always add those there. And then just add adhesive with those once you get ready to put those onto your cake. Super fabulous. I will be taking a little video here at the end of the cake. I'm going to take the camera off of the stand and then do a little bit so that you can see in and around the cake and everything. And then of course I'll be having some photos of the cake on my blog at laurastamppad.com. So be sure to check that out. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.